It's not my fault, so don't blame me. I did not do it, and I have no idea how it happened. About an hour later, my baby was born. I realized something was really wrong. She was very dark, like midnight black. She scared me. I'm light-skinned, with good hair, kind of yellowish, and so is Ella's father. Nobody in my family is anywhere near that dark. You might think she's like someone from the past, but from what past? You should have seen my grandmother. She looked white, married a white man, and never spoke to any of her kids again. She ignored all letters from my mother or aunts. My own mother, Lavinia Watson, could have pretended to be white easily, but she chose not to. She told me the price she paid for that decision. When she and my father went to the courthouse to get married, they had to put their hands on the Bible, reserved for black people. The other one was for white people's hands. The Bible! Can you believe it? My mother worked as a housekeeper for a rich white couple. They made her cook all their meals, scrub their backs in the tub, and who knows what other personal things, but they wouldn't touch the same Bible. Some people might think it's not good to separate ourselves based on skin color, preferring lighter skin in social groups, neighborhoods, churches, and even schools for people of color. But how else can we keep a bit of respect? How else can we avoid being treated badly in a store, pushed aside at the bus stop, forced to walk on the road so white people can use the whole sidewalk, or made to pay for a paper bag at the store when it's free for white shoppers? Not to mention all the mean names we get called. I've heard about all of that and more. But because of my mother's skin color, she didn't face problems trying on hats or using the ladies' room in department stores. And my father could try on shoes in the front part of the shoe store, not in a back room. Neither of them would drink from a colored-only bottle, even if they were really thirsty. I hate to say it, but right from the start, in the maternity ward, the baby, Ella, embarrassed me. Her birth skin was pale like all babies, but it changed fast. I thought I was going crazy when she turned blue-black right before my eyes. I know I went crazy for a minute because, just for a few seconds, I held a pillow over her face and pressed. But I couldn't do that, no matter how much I wished she hadn't been born with that terrible color. I even thought of giving her away to an orphanage, but I was scared to be one of those mothers who leave their babies on church steps. My husband, Louis, works as a postman. When he returned from his job and saw the baby, he looked at me like I was crazy and looked at the baby like she was from another planet. He didn't usually use strong language, so when he said,
"God damn, what the hell is this?"
I knew we were in trouble. That was the start of the problems between us. It led to fights and broke our marriage apart. We had 4 good years together, but when she was born, he blamed me and treated Ella like she was a stranger, more than that, like an enemy. He never touched her. I could never make him believe that I never, ever fooled around with another man. He was absolutely sure I was lying. We argued a lot until I told him Ella's blackness had to be from his own family, not mine. That made things worse. It got so bad that he just left, and I had to find another, cheaper place to live. I did the best I could. I knew enough not to take her with me when I applied to landlords, so I left her with a teenage cousin to babysit. I didn't take her outside much anyway because when I pushed her in the baby carriage, people would lean down and peek in to say something nice and then give a start or jump back before frowning. That hurt. If our skin colors were reversed, I could have been the babysitter. It was tough enough just being a colored woman, even a high yellow one, trying to rent in a decent part of the city. When Ella was born, the law said you couldn't discriminate in renting, but many landlords ignored it. They found reasons to keep you out. Luckily, I found Mr. Lee, even though he raised the rent by $8 from what he had advertised, and he got upset if you were a minute late with the money. I told her to call me Sweetness instead of Mom or Mama. It felt safer. Her being that dark and having two thick lips, calling me Mama, would have confused people. So it was just two of us for a long time. Being an abandoned wife is really hard. Louis felt a bit sorry after leaving us like that. And a few months later, he found out where I had moved to and started sending me money once a month. I never asked for it, and I didn't go to court to get it. His $60 money orders, along with my night job at the hospital, got me and Ella off welfare. That was a good thing. I wish they would stop calling it welfare and go back to the word they used when my mother was a girl. Back then, it was called relief. Sounds much better, like it's just a short-term break while you get yourself together. Those welfare people are mean. When I finally got work and didn't need them anymore, I was making more money than they ever did. I think meanness filled out their small paychecks, and that's why they treated us poorly, especially when they looked at Ella and then back at me, like I was trying to cheat or something. Things got better, but I still had to be careful, very careful in how I raised her. I had to be strict, very strict. Ella needed to learn how to behave, keep her head down, and not make trouble. I don't care how many times she changes her name. Her color is something she will always carry, but it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not. I sometimes feel bad about how I treated Ella when she was little, but you have to understand. I had to protect her. She didn't know the world. With that skin, there was no point in being tough or sassy, even when you were right. Not in a world where you could be sent to a lockup for talking back or fighting in school. A world where you'd be the last one hired and the first one fired. She didn't know any of that, or how her black skin would scare white people or make them laugh and try to trick her. I once saw a girl nowhere near as dark as Ella, who couldn't have been more than 10 years old, tripped by one of a group of white boys. And when she tried to scramble up, another one put his foot on her behind and knocked her flat again. Those boys held their stomachs and bent over with laughter, Long after she got away, they were still giggling, so proud of themselves. If I hadn't been watching through the bus window, I would have helped her, pulled her away from that white trash. If I hadn't trained Ella properly, she wouldn't have known to always cross the street and avoid white boys. But the lessons I taught her paid off, and in the end, she made me proud. I wasn't a bad mother, you need to understand that, but I might have done some things that hurt my only child because I had to keep her safe. I had to. It was all because of the way people treated her, because of her skin. At first, I couldn't see past all that black to really know who she was and just love her for who she is. But I do now, I really do. I think she gets it too. I believe so. The last 2 times I saw her, she looked really confident. When she visited me, I didn't focus on how dark her skin was because she carried herself with confidence, wearing beautiful white clothes. She taught me a lesson I should have known all along. What you do to children matters, and they might never forget. As soon as she could, she left me all alone in that awful apartment. She got as far away from me as she could, dressed herself up, and got a big-time job in California. She doesn't call or visit anymore. She sends me money and stuff every now and then, but I haven't seen her in I don't know how long. I like this place, Winston House, more than the big, expensive nursing homes outside the city. My place is small, cozy, cheaper, with nurses around all the time and a doctor who comes thrice a week. I'm only 64, too young to be stuck at home. But I got some bone disease, so good care is important. The boredom is worse than feeling weak or in pain, but the nurses here are nice. One even kissed me on the cheek when I told her I was going to be a grandmother. Her smile and compliments made me feel special. I showed her the note on brown paper that I got from Ella. Well, she signed it bride, but I never pay much attention to that. Her words sounded excited.
Guess what? I am so happy to share this news. I am going to have a baby. I'm too thrilled, and hope you are too.
I think the excitement is about the baby, not its father, because she doesn't mention him at all. I wonder if he is as dark as she is. If so, she needn't worry like I did. Things have changed a bit from when I was young. Dark-skinned people are all over TV, in commercials, fashion magazines, and even starring in movies. There's no return address on the envelope. So I guess I'm still the bad parent, being punished forever until the day I die for the way I brought her up. I know she hates me. Our relationship is down to her sending me money. I have to say I'm grateful for the cash because I don't have to beg for extras like some of the other patients. But I'm not fooled. I know the money she sends is a way to stay away and quiet down the little bit of conscience she's got left. If I seem annoyed or ungrateful, it's because I have regrets deep down. There are small things I didn't do or did wrong. I remember when she had her first period and how I reacted, or the times I shouted when she stumbled or dropped something. Honestly, I was really upset and felt uncomfortable about her dark skin when she was born. At first, I thought of, no, I have to push those memories away quickly. I know I did my best for her given the situation. When my husband left us, Ella was a burden, a heavy one, but I handled it well. Yes, I was tough on her. Absolutely. By the time she turned 13, I had to be even tougher. She was talking back, refusing to eat what I cooked, primping her hair. When I braided it, she'd go to school and unbraid it. I couldn't let her go bad. I warned her about the names she'd be called. Still, some of my schooling must have rubbed off. See how she turned out? A successful career girl. Can you believe it? Now she's pregnant. Good move, Ella. If you think being a mom is all about sweet talk, cute clothes, and diapers, you're in for a big shock. Big. You and your nameless boyfriend, husband, pickup, whoever, are about to witness a shock. Listen to me. You are about to find out what it takes, how the world is, how it works, and how it changes you as a parent. Good luck, and may God help the child.